Okay, we were talking about this earlier with
Mhm.
blogging. I think that scares a lot of people. People either feel
Yeah.
like they just need to do it. They're like, I
They're
just
like,
feel like I
ooh,
should
blogging. I'm
blog.
definitely not going to do that. So,
Yeah, I feel like the two responses I get from artists are either like, I feel like I should do a blog because everyone else is doing it, but I don't know why. Or
yeah.
I don't really like writing. Do I have to do this every day? Do I have to do this every week?
Yeah,
Can you
no,
explain a little
definitely.
bit about how, maybe a blog can be functional, but also doesn't have to be something that you devote your life to if you're not like a blogger?
Right. And that's the thing. So many websites have hidden blogs. My dad owns a men's clothing store, and I have worked with the marketing team that does his blogs and stuff in the past. And the blog is not even like you can't go to the website and link to the blog. There's nothing out there. But he's like, we get so much traffic to the website from these blog posts because they're super targeted, like on random men's clothing topics or whatever, but it's not like an outward facing thing. So you can even do it that way where it's not something that's forward facing, something that's kind of a little bit more like behind the scenes, but helps drive traffic to your site. And I always tell people, don't think of it as now I'm a blogger or an influencer or something, because it's the whole point here is not just churning out content, it's writing really specific niche content for your audience, so like you're talking about the landscape, paintings with acrylics. You could do like a post on how to find the best, frames, or, like just anything that relates to your audience or people who would be buying art or your type of work, which is just a great place to start. But yeah, you can work on those posts. You can have a handful, like let's say you have 20 and you're kind of like, okay, I'm seeing good traffic. Maybe you kind of want to take a pause and not blog anymore. That's totally fine. It's not something you have to do consistently every day. The only time I say you should blog consistently is if you are literally like blogging for your job, which these people who are listening to this today, I'm sure, are not doing that.
Right.
But that's just having that content on your site. The more content you have, like that's well written, good quality content, the more traffic you're going to get. Because, like you said, each page, your website doesn't rank as a whole, each page ranks individually. So each page you create, and a page can also be a post, gives just, it's like opening like another avenue to your home, just all these different pathways to get to you. And so the more there are, in theory, the more traffic you get.
Right. And that's where I think blogs can be useful, but less daunting. And I think it also takes the
Yeah.
pressure off feeling like you have to optimize like every product page and every picture and
Yeah.
all. It's like that some of that stuff doesn't have to rank because odds are you might sell a painting before it ranks.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about this. It takes like, I read like 3 to 6 months, but I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen it takes a while for SEO to kick in. And so it makes more sense to go the blog route and just
Yeah.
get the traffic to your site for
Right, because
something
you're
like,
not going to delete the blog post, right? And you can always go back
yeah.
and update the blog post, which keeps it like fresh. So that's what I wanted to talk about with listings, because so many people obviously are selling like one of a kind work. And to me, spending a ton of time optimizing one of a kind pieces, like listings for that, just doesn't make sense. Like if you want to go for it, great. But like you said, chances are your piece is probably going to sell before the SEO kicks in. So for listings, at least, the things I would focus my attention on would be things like, let's say you sold prints, focus on your SEO for those prints, work on those pages. Or if you sold, I don't know, like mugs or notebooks with your art on it. I know a lot of artists have different types of products. So anywhere that you're going to have inventory that's going to like not, expire really quickly or sell out immediately, those are where I would focus my attention for the listings page. But for one of a kind pieces, I kind of feel like it's a lot of work for probably not much return.
Right. I had a lot of artists ask about that specifically, like a lot of
Yeah.
questions about the photos and the descriptions and all and the title. And I was kind of like, from my knowledge, I understand
Yeah.
that it probably wouldn't be worth it, but I also want to address because I'm sure my listeners are probably like, she's not asking any of our questions.
Yeah.
But that's why. And I think it's better because then it's like you can put your work up, you can name it what you want to name it. The description doesn't need to be
Yeah.
paragraphs long, but you could write a blog post on landscape paintings and acrylic six
Yes.
months before. And if you always, you do landscape paintings, theoretically,
Just
people
swap
are
out
going
the
to come to your
photos.
site over time and continually, in search of that and then continually
Yeah.
see the work you're putting up.
And that's what I would say. I was like I had kind of like thought about all this in my head before. If you do always do landscape paintings, let's say you have that blog post that's like landscape paintings with acrylics. So anytime you come out with a new collection or anything like that, I would go into that blog post, update the photos with some of like, anything that's sold out, take the photo out, put the new one in, put new links in, maybe add like a new sentence or two or update it just so it feels like fresh. And then change the publish date to like, the day that it is now. So it feels like a new post, and you republish it, and Google loves to see content updated because they look at that and go, oh, this content is still relevant. They're still keeping up with it. Like, we're going to show this to more people. And so the more you do that, the more it just kind of boosts your post up. That's also true if you have a post that was ranking and it starts to like fall off. I had a post that was like how to make an Instagram Reels. Somehow I managed to like get on page 1 for this. I'm like, I don't even know that much about Instagram Reels. But anyway, it was ranking and then it dropped off. And I went into the post, added a few more sentences, maybe a photo that was kind of like a demonstration, and then republished it. And within a week, it was back on page 1. So it is really cool to see that like you have the power to boost your own rankings by making little tweaks like that. But that's where I would say for one of a kind pieces, create a blog post that's kind of like, okay, this is going to be this all encompassing thing. It's like a great keyword that I want to rank for. It's competitive, but not too competitive. And just focus on like creating or updating that post over and over again.